Messi. Trying to pick out Alba. Picked up the loose ball. Shouts for a penalty. Rebetu shot not interested. And this being a preseason game, VAR not in effect tonight. And fun fact, Evan Kerr, Diego Maradona was actually supposed to play here at the Cotton Bowl for Argentina's final group stage game of that World Cup. But of course, it was the infamous match in which he was suspended after testing positive following their game against Nigeria, so he missed out on that game.
Fortunately for Argentina, they had a little guy by the name of Batistuta that was able to run rampant up top.
Bonus points if you can tell me who was able to knock Argentina out of that World Cup.
Nigeria?
Romania.
Romania. Oh, Gheorghe Hagi. Absolutely.
Suarez. Boy, that was perched up nicely for Messi. They're starting to click again, the old friends.
The movements really are incredible on this front line for Inter Miami once again. Watch this quick little diagonal for Luis Suarez. Picks it up on his own. Just being in the space is the biggest thing for them. It's totally different than 2023. Knows exactly where his former running mate is going to be.
Awkward ball here. Ariola able to put some pressure on. Ferreira has a runner with him. It's Ansa. Ferreira asking for it back, and the delivery is a ways away from anybody in a white kit. And it looked like Ariola went into that challenge with a bit of a high boot and showing some studs, and that's why Sergi Ristov is slow to get up.
It's also been, what, close to 20-something minutes since they've advanced themselves this high, FC Dallas. And they're working through things. This is certainly going to be a marathon. The home squad this season, defensively, one would imagine no real question marks. Although if you ask Nico Estevez, on his wish list right now, like another central defender. Miami could make the argument on the left side of that back line as well, if you believe the rumors. One Nicolas Freire from Pumas could be headed to South Beach.
That's a scary proposition if they're able to land him, and that becomes official.
You know, watching that Pumas team en route to the 2022 now CONCACAF Champions Cup title game against the Seattle Sounders. Of course, the Sounders ran away with it that night. Freire was one of the more impressive ones on that squad. Just his ability to hold down a back line on the left side, his distribution, very aggressive in nature. It also gives you more depth behind Jordi Alba with Noah Allen there. Speculating, of course.
If you're believing everything that Tom Bogert is writing, yes.
Still think he's got a ghostwriter.
There's something that's not right there, whether it's his overall being, his mustache. Hit it. Yaramendi. Punched over the bar by Drake Callender.
Love the commitment from Asir Yaramendi coming out of the midfield here. And we talked about defensively how they were stretched quite thin. So as you start to push, why not? Nobody willing to step up in. Half-hearted effort from Noah Allen coming off the back line. Just clean little cutback across. Sergio Busquets, he's locking down that central location. He can't drift over quick enough. Very smart from the Spaniard.
Ensuing corner from Dallas. Trying to change the angle of delivery for Ferreira. Yedlin couldn't retain possession. Herbert Endeley, Indiana University product. Ferreira. Ansah couldn't get out of the way. The ball was intended for him. And speaking of the transfer rumor mill, which is always in full swing this time of year, plenty of rumors circulating that FC Dallas are in the market for a number 9 of the DP variety. And they've been linked to a Croatian striker by the name of Petar Musa. But of course, this all speculation and nothing written in stone just yet. But you just get the feeling that if they can find somebody to complement the likes of Jesus Ferreira in a more advanced role and can really be a point number 9 for this group, then they're really going to challenge for the top of the Western Conference Summit.
And not difficult to say that that's got to be the main argument for this team, right? The help up top in the 9 spot, and really the 9 spot in general, especially.
But how often are we saying that about a lot of MLS teams who are right on the cusp of either being a playoff team?
But how many ever find it?
Yep.
That's the thing, is right. You know, scouting is one thing. You know,
and that was the thing that Nico Esteves told us as well, is that it's not necessarily that they don't have quality number 9s. There's quality in the players that they have. It's just not the profile that they need for his specific needs and wants within his system.
They had to change so much last year. He was very keen to point that out to us, that, okay, they finished 3rd in 2022. They weren't the same team defensively in 23. That definitely changed, but numerically it was actually quite similar, almost to a T, the amount of goals that were given up over a 34-game season. But going forward, the players there, they just needed a different profile. You go with an overall number 9, somebody to play off of, somebody to stretch the game. That's what they're looking for.
Arriola looking for Eugene Ansah, and a gut-busting run from Noah Allen, going stride for stride with the 29-year-old from Accra, Ghana. Got a touch to it and got the goal kick as well.
You know that you can get it from the players underneath, but they're the guys that you want involved in the build-up more. They were too isolated last year in 2023, and so, yeah, maybe they go get someone in the transfer market. They need to. And then, you know, does lightning strike twice in terms of the MLS Super Draft? We saw the success of Duncan McGuire coming out of Creighton, and what was one of the more impressive rookie campaigns for Orlando City, certainly at the 9 spot. Can he do it as the number 1 this year? Who knows? They did draft Logan Farrington, who could hopefully provide them some depth up top at the 9.
We should be seeing the likes of Farrington amidst a slew of changes for FC Dallas in the second half.
35.
Messi shaping another one out. This time it's Alba who's his target, and Herbert Endeley just needed to be sure, but he gets bailed out by the offside flag, which is up on the near side.
Great track, though. Really well done by Herbert Endeley to come all the way back, even though the ball played through is brilliant. Just watch the top of your screen. Leaves a bit early here, Jordi Alba. That gives you an idea of the speed, though, that even with a 2.5, 3-yard cushion, the Hoosier are able to track all the way back and get the best of it.
We have a couple substitutions here as Ensa Balang and Diego Garcia are going to come on. Garcia, just 17 years of age, originally from Denver. And Siki Ensa Balang, a 25-year-old from Johannesburg, South Africa. And it's Yaramendi and Paul Arriola who make way for the 2 first substitutions of the evening. Looked like a yellow card was distributed amongst some of that tomfoolery as well. Junka, dangerous ball as Suarez was trying to poach an easy one to level the score as we are knocking on the door of halftime. Just 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Jesus Ferreira with the lone goal, but outside of that one chance for FC Dallas, it's been few and far in between for Nico Esteves' group, and a lot of Inter Miami And some decent combinations, slowly but surely starting to find a groove. Recapturing that match fitness and overall synergy. Of course, isn't expected to be at full force until somewhere around April or May, let's say. And that errant pass will result in a corner for the home side. Suarez got there first. Getting stuck in was Diego Garcia. And the 17-year-old will poke it back out wide. Busquets was trying to clean things up with the help of Julian Gressel. And Dante Sealy, the 20-year-old from Brooklyn, able to keep possession for this FC Dallas group, who finished 7th in the Western Conference last year. And Ferreira and Herbert Endeley not exactly on the same page. And Devin, this a few steps up from what we saw from Inter Miami after their 0-0 draw against El Salvador.
A different level of a hotel. It's not even a couple of steps. This is going from the lobby to floor 10 or 12. Of course, they want to live in the penthouse, but it takes some time.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's cleaner on the ball. Better ideas moving forward. Better rotation overall. Defensively, they've been more sound. I'd say even more so is that because of their ability to play this game on their own terms. They stretch the shape of FC Dallas that allows them to retain more possession. Beautiful crossing patterns.
Busquets had a couple of different runs being made by Suarez, and DeAndre Yedlin only finds the feet of Martin Paz. Endeley. Clever and swift run forward, and it results in a foul from Inter Miami. And the yellow card as well for Julian Gressel.
It's a brilliant move from the winger from FC Dallas on the outside, just recognizing that you've gotten a little bit deep. Inter Miami, their defensive shape, tons of space to step into. Deeper lying, a little bit on the outside, challenging to the interior, something that Endeley did such a good job at the collegiate level, hoping that success follows him here.
Ferreira's delivery, overcooked and out of play. Meanwhile, Jesus Ferreira goes down, and some groans from the FC Dallas faithful who have made their way to the Cotton Bowl tonight, as that's the last person you want to see go down, especially so early on in the season. Of course, Inter Miami fans had to watch Facundo Farias go down with a season-ending ACL injury down in El Salvador this past weekend. And outside of gaining match fitness and starting to work on some patterns, cohesiveness along the back line, the biggest thing you want after every single friendly is to escape without any injuries. And of course, they're not going to take any risks in a preseason game, no matter who's on the other side of the ball. And immediately Ferreira is going to come off. Kosi Tafara is going to get the captain's armband. And the goal scorer on the night got his work done inside of the first 5 minutes, Devin Kerr.
Brilliantly done within the midfield. A little touch by Yaramendi, Liam Fraser. The compliment. Excellent ball coming back forward, and then much of what we've seen from the attacking side of Inter Miami, a beautiful diagonal by Jesus Ferreira that allows him to just pick his head up, clean touch, and then down into the bottom corner. You do hope that this is just precautionary. Similar movement towards the end of the game for Inter Miami at El Salvador that saw Facundo Farias. His 2024 campaign cut short. Injury, ACL.
Miami's next contest is going to be over in Saudi Arabia against Al Hilal. They'll leave directly following the match tonight, and the game, of course, will be on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. 1 o'clock Eastern Time kickoff on January 29th, a week from tonight. Garcia gives the ball away. Ruiz trying to find the feet of Suarez on the first time, but unsuccessful in doing so. And Miami will recycle. Miami's opening game for Major League Soccer's regular season will be against Real Salt Lake on February 21st. And they will play a to-be-determined opponent in the round of 16 of CONCACAF Champions Cup. Earning a bye in the first round after winning Leagues Cup in 2023, the first trophy that Messi was able to hoist here in North America. Little 1-2 between he and Suarez. Busquets on the second ball. Messi, beautiful ball for Suarez on the first time. You're starting to see little by little the understanding between these two is not exactly human.
The weight of this ball is absolutely brilliant from Messi. Timing of the run, gets almost everything correct here, and just that last little piece. Technique's not bad, just a bit ahead of it for Luis Suarez. It's also nearly impossible to take this thing out of the air off your right foot, moving away from the ball, redirect at the other corner. Absolute joke of a ball. Up over the FC Dallas back line.
If it was against Norwich, he would have scored it.
Shades of the 5-4, like it was yesterday. I was having this discussion the other night. It's still so difficult for me to believe that it was a decade ago that he left Liverpool.
Sold for north of 80 million. Heading from Liverpool to Barcelona. Kritsov. David Ruiz stays with it, attempting to find DeAndre Yedlin, who was making a run from the right wing back position across the heart of the penalty area.
Dallas had to check themselves again, because tactically the beautiful little change that was as Busquets came deeper, quickly turned it into a forward, allowed Yedlin to get much higher up and then start to crash the party right at the top of the six.
A design set piece that was read the entire way. Tiki Insabalang was making sure that Messi couldn't tee that up. And collected by Martin Paz off the delivery from Tomas Aviles. Haas has had two big moments in goal tonight. One was denying Lionel Messi in a 1v1 situation. He was able to get an outstretched left paw to it. Another was preventing Lionel Messi from scoring in Olympico. Busquets for Messi. And that will do it for the first half from the Cotton Bowl. Jesus Ferreira, who just subbed off a few minutes ago with the lone goal inside of the first 5 minutes. Certainly some flashes of brilliance from Luis Suarez. Lionel Messi It's January 22nd. Let's settle down.
Goal of the preseason. We're going with it.
Well, the big names are still out there amidst a couple of substitutions, which we will relay to you as soon as we know, as Remy Touchon gets us underway for this second half from the historic Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. Tyler Terrence along with the ex-German pro Devin Kerr. So glad you could join us here on a foggy, cold, and rainy night in Dallas on MLSsoccer.com. Scored all the way across. Suarez. And handled in the end. Robert Taylor, one of the substitutions to come on for Tata Martino at the half. Of course, he exploded in the second half of the season after the arrival of Lionel Messi. As Busquets takes a late shot from behind as well. And Tata Martino electing to take off David Ruiz and replace him with Robert Taylor, and his group are still looking for their first goal in the new calendar year. And Devin, if you are Tata Martino, what's the message at the big intermission?
Just continue, right? Continue this path that is going to be the evolution of the Herons football as the season goes on, and it's a gigantic step from what we saw against El Salvador. You know, the idea is just have to continue to matriculate in every way, shape, and form for this team, and there was some really clean football in the first half there. I was happy defensively. It was much better than what we saw on the road just a couple of nights ago. Better communication. Tomas Avalos coming over to the right-hand side. Just everybody that was along that back line, much more clean in nature.
Russell trying to go over the top for Robert Taylor, and knotted back in calm fashion by the Dallas back line. Jordi Alba. Linked it for the back heel for Suarez, but didn't quite come off, and picked off by Herbert Endeley and company. Suarez with the repress though. Inter Miami committing 8 or 9 players at times when they're full-throated attack. And it does leave them exposed, but Dallas, outside of their lone goal by way of Jesus Ferreira, have not been able to take advantage of the numerical side of things. Nice little overlapping run, and the squared ball is denied on this near side by Chris McVeigh. Run for Noah Allen. Alba. Joining in with Robert Taylor. Messi just trying to hop it up for Julian Gressel. Busquets. Alba. The idea was certainly the right one. Finds Suarez. And it's the second or third time in this second half alone that we've seen Suarez not able to link up with either Alba or Robert Taylor on this side. And of course, this is the first time that he and Robert Taylor are truly seeing the field together in consistent fashion. He's played in just a couple of games with Jordi Alba.
Ton of changes for FC Dallas here in the second half on the back line. Safari comes over to the left-hand side. Recent acquisition of Omar Gonzalez, veteran national team center back, moves into the middle of the back three with Mehmet Korça. Sebastian Lletget has changed his number from 12 to 8 in the debut of MLS Super Draft pick number 3 overall in the 2024 edition. Logan Farrington moves up top into the number 9 spot. Interesting pairing on the inside with Iki Nsabalang and Nolan Norris. Norris coming a bit more advanced this season. They tried him out in midfield last year, but he's primarily a left back. Something that Nico Estevez, with the continued development of this team, necessarily want to have to change a ton of pieces. They want to have the depth. They want to have the ability to maintain a similar structure and just the overall profile of a player. Give them different options as opposed to changing tactically so regularly as we saw in 23.
Marco Farfan holding things up for Dallas. Now here is Farrington. Just scoops it over the top. And the first time effort was always going to be difficult for the 17-year-old Diego Garcia. Now the Miami bench starting to go through a little bit more of an intense warm-up. Alba looking for the curling run of Suarez. Long-range effort parried away by Paz. And just poked away, and Dallas were on their heels. As Lionel Messi just dialing it up from about 30, 35 yards out.
The majority of answers tonight for the Flying Dutchman, and Martin Paz this one from distance as Messi has a go. How clever Busquets, just letting this drift, and probably not the cleanest of touches, still gets it off. Because of course he did.
Is there anything that surprises you at this point from that man?
No.
Suarez got tangled up for a moment. Walking just a little bit gingerly back. Busquets probing, just looking for an avenue. Instead, Miami will recycle. Almost running behind, met by the ball of Busquets. Suarez waiting for the delivery, and it's out of his reach. The offside flag is up.
Feels like the tank's a little bit empty here for Luis Suarez. Love the way that they're trying to build here, though. Inter Miami once again. Alba leaves just a touch early, but as they continue to rotate, Busquets comes a little bit deeper. More time on the ball. Great recognition. Well-weighted pass up over the top. At the tail end of that, though, Luis Suarez just seems like one of the preseason jitters in terms of overall fitness starting to show up.
Nolan Norris trying to find the Oregon State product, Logan Farrington. Beavers getting to a College Cup semifinal this year.
It's an interesting one. Logan Farrington, an opportunity to see him a lot in 2023 to their semifinal appearance, and drafted 3rd overall. There's going to be expectations around him. Transferred from Milwaukee, 3-time All-Horizon League player, had quite the season. 15 goals in 21 appearances. Felt a bit slighted. He wasn't included in the Mac Hermann conversation. Of course, that's the country's soccer Heisman, if you will. Gloria Amanda in 2020 won it with the exact same goal output. Assists on the mark as well. But he's got a big engine. A lot of people like to compare him to Duncan McGuire. I would be easy in that area, but there are some similarities. The work rate, his pressing on and off the ball. Duncan McGuire physically a bit bigger. Obviously, we know how that conversation has gone. I actually like Logan Farrington's feet better. He's much more comfortable coming down into the pocket, but the idea for him is going to be to stretch this game, to be that focal point up top so that he's not overloading the space on the inside. They want Jesus Ferreira to be able to operate freely, whether Farrington's on the field or not. And he does possess a high IQ, though. Nico Estevez says that that's probably the biggest thing he's taken away from camp so far with the rookie, his understanding of a variety of situations.
It was well done from Chris McVeigh to get out of trouble, but Suarez couldn't hang on to the ball, as Miami were literally trying to build from back to front, as Drake Callender was trying to connect the dots from his own goal line. Devin, you mentioned it before, but this is very much the point, especially this early on in preseason in late January, where you really start to see the wheels come off from a fitness standpoint. And once that happens, the quality of the game starts to drop a little bit, where you see guys breathing heavier. And once the legs start to go, the first thing that really starts to go is the mind and sort of your technique and your ability on the ball, and things that seem natural when you are in good graces with your fitness and with your oxygen in tank. it really all starts to just dissipate.
Well, for FC Dallas, we've seen 7 changes, 8 if you include the one for the injured Jesus Ferreira in the first half. Like, it takes time to develop these relationships, even with guys that were there the year prior. Some of these players for the home squad didn't have as many repetitions, so you're trying to find out the new faces, you're trying to garner more fitness, and all of that is a challenge. Inter Miami, something similar. Again, a good foundation built over the last 18 months by the South Florida squad. Even with the quality that they possess, it's a different league, there's more travel. Tata Martino and his ideas, although some players have experienced them in the past, not everybody has had the opportunity to learn from that manager prior.
Here come Dallas. Crunching challenge from Noah Allen as he steps up from that center back position. Taylor in for Suarez. Doesn't win the foot race though with Omar Gonzalez. Side threatening again, and Noah Allen being called into action again as he's been the last line of defense the last 2 times down the field for Dallas. Busquets. Suarez finding Messi. Got it away. Now it's Taylor. Intended for Messi. Suarez was well offside. Decided to take a swipe at it.
We're going to get a line change here for Inter Miami. Just the touches, though, so impressive. Even off this deflection right here. Ball comes off of him, it still goes to the desired destination. What an alien. He's so ridiculous. Omar Gonzalez can do nothing but watch as the half-hearted challenge. And the clearance trying to push the attack away ends up for the Uruguayan. That will be the curtain call for Messi.
And it'll be the same for Sergio Busquets. Julian Gressel's night is finished. But of course, everyone here clamoring for a picture for a moment that they'll remember forever as the GOAT exits the Cotton Bowl, and a frustrated Luis Suarez as well. And on come the likes of Stefanelli, Leonardo Campana. Tata Martino slowly but surely trying to build the fitness, trying to build the confidence and the swagger of this Inter Miami team up. Not that they need any help with the third part of that statement. But he wants this to be a well-oiled machine as quickly as possible, with MLS opening day right around the corner, February 21st, officially less than a month away, according to my calculations here on this January 22nd. You know, I was told by somebody a long time ago to never do quick math on air, but that was an easy one.
I took that advice.
It's tough watching you try to do it.
I got you, though. You know, you go with what you know, and you stay away from what you don't know. And the maths don't really add up for me over here. Mom's been telling me that for a while.
That's why you got into sports, pal.
That's right.
Alba towards Campana. And a thumbs up of approval from the Ecuadorian. And he, of course, draws the proverbial short end of the stick with the acquisition of Luis Suarez, as he was typically being partnered next to Lionel Messi at the tip of the Inter Miami spear. In for Stefanelli. And back for Alba.
Interesting tonight. They've stuck with the same back line all night long, but more importantly, they haven't really changed themselves from a tactical standpoint as to what their initial setup was going to be. We saw them change 3 times Friday evening in El Salvador. Tonight just continues to sit with the 3 now. Slight variations that have allowed a bit more freedom out on this left-hand side to both Noah Allen and, of course, Jordi Alba. Does that continue with the addition of Gregory? The ideas coming off the back and so much of the beautiful combinations that we saw from visitors remain prevalent. Stop me if you've heard this before, by the way, but I understand it's a preseason match. We're 67 minutes in. Dallas sitting on a 1-0 lead.
Park the bus.
Not that they're trying to, but shades of last year, right? Last year it was out of necessity. Right now I'm sure that Nico Estevez would like to see more coming forward. There's some really good communication coming from the sideline right now. Guys tracking. He would like more on the interior. The breakdown is right here. It's certainly, you can have a conversation about the 9 up top getting him more involved, but as you come, they're still struggling with their shape because of all the work they're having to do defensively. So Miami doing such an incredible job of creating depth within their ranks. FC Dallas struggling. Same talking point.
Here's Korcha. It's Sabalang. Patient and pragmatic here from FC Dallas. Quick feed over on the far side. This intended for Diego Garcia, and Chris McVeigh will just shepherd the whole thing out of play. And we're going to have a couple of substitutions now, including that of Turner Humphrey. Of course, was one of the super draft picks for FC Dallas in the 2024 MLS Super Draft, and Antonio Carrera, the young goalkeeper, will replace Martin Paz, who pitches a clean sheet against Lionel Messi and company for just north of 69 minutes.
Leading the match is number 30, correction, number 1, Jimmy Mallon, and number 17, Josie Clark. Entering the match is number 13, Antonio Carrera, and number 42.
Long range effort from Garcia, and Drake Callender had to be sharp. Kitsov almost gave it away. Sebastian Lletget. Lletget with a rather disappointing 2023 campaign. Missed the last 2 months of the season due to injury, had no goals and 3 assists. San Francisco native. one of many reasons as to why the FC Dallas attack really didn't look as potent as that which we saw in 2022. And one of the veteran leaders on this FC Dallas team came over from the LA Galaxy and is going to need to be at the heart of what Nico Estevez is trying to accomplish if this is a group that's going to threaten the top of the Western Conference. And Stefanelli able to win it. Campana back for Robert Taylor.
About the driver off the deck divot right around the center circle. Dear Lord, how's nobody fixed that yet? It's dangerous.
Looks like Devin Kerr with a 7-iron.
That's a bump and run 4 from that distance.
Which direction are you going?
I'm gonna go with the Texas wedge next time.
Oh, nice, nice. Although for a data 3, the amount of time
not yet proven, by the way.
The amount of time in between the two dad jokes was a little bit too much for my liking, and for the fans watching, to be honest. Here's Gregory.
Beautiful.
Not so much from Stefanelli, but stays with Miami, and point of attack was switched by Robert Taylor. Stefanelli.
You can let her know, Jesse.
Deflection, and Carrera, the goalkeeper on the scene for FC Dallas, able to smother it. 19-year-old who was originally born in Mexico, moved to Texas, came up through the FC Dallas Academy. Got signed after putting up 6 saves against the FC Dallas first team when he was playing for the United States U20s in a friendly. 19 appearances with North Texas SC, their MLS Next Pro affiliate. Has yet to make a Major League Soccer appearance, Carrera.
And both he and Nolan Norris coming off the U23 call-up for the United States Youth National Team last fall. Actually part of the brilliant FC Dallas Academy team that featured a couple of other names, including Santi Ferreira, Jesus' younger brother, and Mike Pickering. Always love seeing the academy teams for FC Dallas go to battle in their tournaments at the facility.
No, Allen in for Campana, but the offside flag is out. It's all for naught, but an aesthetically pleasing move from Inter Miami. Almost finished off brilliantly by Campana.
And the reason being behind that youth comment was because the senior team does such a good job of coming out and supporting them, and they trying to make it feel as a bigger environment than what it is, to make these guys understand when they get their opportunities, stepping up to the next level, feel more accustomed to it. Antonio Carrera shows you that he feels just at home, offside or not.
So Ryan Saylor, the University of Washington product, and 9th overall pick in 2022 in the Super Draft, comes onto the scene here for the final 15 minutes, as does Israel Boatwright. Boatwright, just 18 years of age, originally from the Dominican Republic. Signed to a first-team contract on January 10th of this year. And got a couple of appearances with the first team last year when they were in that limbo phase, when they knew Lionel Messi was coming to MLS. They were just waiting as to exactly when that was going to happen. They had a ton of injuries, and Boatwright, along with a boatload of Inter Miami Academy products, were really at the core of this entire Miami first team roster. And we got to see him against DC United, and
loved him.
A game that was dominated by the likes of Noah Allen, Benjamin Kremoski, Israel Boatwright. And they got a 2-2 draw against then Wayne Rooney's side, who of course was dismissed towards the end of 2023. And just dismissed as the head coach of Birmingham.
Very difficult for you to tell me in that game that Israel Boatwright had never regularly been on the field to play at the MLS level. He fit right in, and was one of the better players for sure. Flexibility, marking back on the outside, more advanced position, just giving the freedom to go and chase the game. Ton of confidence for the youngster on the right flank.
Barrington attempting to hold up play for FC Dallas, somehow gets it back. And gets an elbow across the midsection as well from Chris McVeigh, and it will be a set piece. Drake Callender in goal the entire time so far for Tata Martino. And basically an entirely new cast for Inter Miami from that of the starting 11. Farfan. And Callender able to claim it, despite a teasing ball in from the former LAFC man.
You got to respect the fact that Tata Martino is letting a couple of these guys go. Jordi Alba. The distance at this point in time, Noah Allen, Krivtsov for sure. We saw Tomas Velez get some extended minutes prior to the addition of Chris McVeigh. The question, though, is when you change, can you maintain? It's going to be the expectation from their leader on the sideline. Of course, it is for any team, but keeping guys happy with all of the talent they've been able to acquire, both domestically and abroad. What does the conversation look like when it's not Messi, when Busquets needs a break? Think about the fact this year too is you're not talking about an Inter Miami team that's trying to find a way to navigate 34 games in MLS. You're also dealing with CONCACAF Champions Cup that's going to start right around the corner. I mentioned earlier that they're still awaiting their opponent. Of course, Leagues Cup later on this season.
And speaking of which, why don't we take a look at some key dates for Major League Soccer this season. Of course, opening night is going to be the earliest in Major League Soccer history. February 21st is when Inter Miami is going to kick off the 2024 campaign against Pablo Mastroeni and Real Salt Lake. July 24th, excuse me, not January 24th. That would be 2 days from now, is going to be the All-Star game, and then Leagues Cup starts a couple of days after that. Decision day, October 19th. And it'll be here before you know it. Of course, you got the likes of the Columbus Crew trying to defend their title. More or less unchanged roster from a year ago. They retained basically every single major piece and then some from the MLS Cup winning side. Just about 6 weeks removed from that. FC Cincinnati Supporter Shield defending champs, and got a couple teams in the Western Conference who are looking to get back to true form, like the Seattle Sounders, who finished in the #2 seed in the Western Conference. Portland Timbers in a new era underneath Phil Neville. And don't be surprised if the New England Revolution under Caleb Porter start to make some noise again in the Eastern Conference, a team that a lot of people, Devin, had pegged to make a really deep run in the postseason, if not for the coaching change in the middle of the year. And really the most important junction of the season as well.
The process itself and how it played out, just the white noise that surrounded everything. So disruptive, unfortunately, for that team. Tremendous roster. Should give them the ability to certainly be within the conversation atop the Eastern Conference.
And what does St. Louis City have in store for their second season in Major League Soccer after winning the Western Conference in their inaugural season, becoming the first ever professional sports organization in the major 5 sports in North America to win a conference regular season title in their first year in an expansion season.
How's that environment? Man, it was fun being there, right?
City Park?
City Park is
one of the best in Major League Soccer, bar none.
Even with the weather delays that you and I experienced.
It was a tornado.
Multiple tornadoes. It's like dealing with you on a Friday night.
Which city are we in on a Friday night?
Yes.
That's the question.
That's the question. Well, that was a coming to moment, almost like the Postal Service. Neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow, nor tornado. It's going to keep us off
You
this
actually
field.
did move away from the windows, despite the fact that
Absolutely. I'm born and bred in Nebraska, man. I know better than to tempt Mother Nature.
We were under serious cover. There were no loose flying objects.
Last one.
I just was there for the show.
Cilantro rice that night was delightful. The corn salsa.
Yeah, but I do have a
rice,
bone to
chicken.
pick. I do have a bone to pick because the ice cream machine.
It's always
out
down.
of order.
It's always down. It's like McDonald's. What's going on, man?
Speaking of McDonald's, FC Dallas got themselves into high gear fitness-wise. Headed over to Wichita Falls, the Shepherd Air Force Base, where they had a 5 a.m. wake-up call and were put through a fitness regimen identical to what members of the Air Force go through. Stefanelli nods this down for Campana. Taylor back for Campana, and eventually dealt with. And the entire first team, including the staff, endured that fitness session with a number of sergeants yelling at them and treating them as if they were normal members of the Air Force. As a kind ball falls, saved by Drake Callender, batted away. It looked like a potential handball. And now a foul on Chris McVeigh, and Drake Callender, really for the first time tonight, the 84th minute, making his first real big save.
The whole idea behind all of those preseason escapades were communicating through chaos, and that's what ensued here. Just finding a way to continue to push numbers forward. One would imagine if there was VAR, rumor has it we paid the bills and we're going to have it in regular season, this probably would have been pointed to the spot 12 yards out. Excellent save, though, from the goalkeeper.
Marco Farfan, the 24-year-old from Portland, Oregon, on top of the set piece, and some organizing to do here for Drake Callender. Farrington straight into the wall. And Nolan Norris from a long way out. He was the one that was denied by Drake Callender. And Inter Miami's next preseason game is going to be on January 29th in Saudi Arabia against Al Hilal at the Kingdom Arena, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And all of the remaining preseason games can be caught on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV.
Megs.
That's Gregory on the move. Alba for Robert Taylor. Things opening up nicely here for Miami. Diving header away.
What a sequence, though. Beautiful ball movement by Inter Miami. The vision that you get from Busquets is one thing, and let's be clear, they're not the same player. But to go from Busquets to Gregory, not too shabby of a change.
And by all accounts, when Gregory went down, that was really the biggest injury, not just from a sheer quality standpoint and missing him on the field, but his presence in the locker room and training it every single day. He was the one that was sort of keeping the level as high as possible, well before the days of Messi, Busquets, Alba, and Luis Suarez. So to have him back in the mix, his leadership, his presence, and everything like that, in addition to everyone else, and to sort of maybe be a leadership figure when they are rotating, whether it be in CONCACAF Champions Cup, Leagues Cup, some midweek madness in Major League Soccer regular season schedule.
And recognizing as well that Tata Martino, with all of the assets that he has at his disposal, he likes to change and give you that look of a chameleon. Multiple looks within a match, drop into a double pivot, let Gregory and Busquets play side by side. Why not? We talked to then manager Phil Neville about the one piece you could not afford to lose within your team at that point in time. It was Gregory. Well, they lost him. They lost Ian Frey, Jean Mota, Franco Negri, Coco Jean. They were without the services of Nico Stefanelli. Small injury towards the end of the season. You know, I had this conversation with Joe Malfa in their game against El Salvador. You take them along with the loan of Emerson Rodriguez to Santos. Schneider Borgelin went on loan. You traded Bryce Duke and Ari Lassiter to Montreal. It's basically their starting 11. It's close enough anyway. And yet to come from that point to where they're at now. I get it, it's preseason, but with all of the names that they've been able to add to the roster at such a high level, and then get the services of the aforementioned back. That's why people are talking about what could be a historic season for this team.
Gregory gets it back and thought, why not?
Into Miami, adding so much talent. How about in the Western Conference, LAFC? What could be for them? There's a lot of wondering, if you will, from 2022's champion. Of course, the finalists this past year that came oh so close. If not for Wilfred Nancy and the Columbus Crew, Carlos Vela's future. What could be. Diego Palacios takes off, lose their outside back. Carolina Costa out of contract. Maxime Crépeau, as we showed you in the movement off season, takes his talents to Portland. They always seem to find a way.
Suarez, David Luiz and the like all making their way towards the locker room here at the end of the 90 minutes, just to try to escape the madness, and it really does have such a big feel to it. I mean, any time that Messi, Suarez, Busquets, or Alba during warm-ups were shown on the big screen, the place absolutely erupted.
Credit to this population, by the way, because the weather, the rain, everybody still showed up.
And this is normal for January in most parts of the country, but Dallas is not used to dealing with things like this.
No.
I mean, there was snow on the forecast a few days ago for tonight.
To get a glimpse of greatness, and they got that and more.
Pereira well off of his line. Taylor went down. Raymond Touchon not interested. Chris McVeigh. Alba whipping another in. Still calibrating his deliveries from the left-hand side. Farrington battling with Sergei Kritsov. A little bit awkward from Omar Gonzalez, who, of course, returns home here to North Texas as we've eclipsed the 90-minute mark. Miami will be directly off to Saudi Arabia. Next game a week from now on January 29th, 1 o'clock Eastern time on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. And they'll take on Al Hilal just a few days before they take on Cristiano Ronaldo and Al Nassr.
How incredible the growth, right? I mean, all of a sudden, and you used the words world tour earlier, it's something that you'd see from a Barcelona, a Liverpool, right?
The Beatles.
The Beatles. The ability to showcase this league from a global standpoint, where we've come in 2024 for MLS.
Pass runs away from Sergio Christoph. Nico Estevez will certainly be pleased before his group heads off to Spain for a couple of weeks of preseason before they return to the States for the commencement of Major League Soccer's 29th season. Tata Martino and company off to the Middle East. As Remy Touchon brings this friendly to a close, Jesus Ferreira's goal inside of the first 4 minutes proves to be the game winner. Nico Estevez and Tata Martino exchange pleasantries. Not exactly the same heart-palpitating stuff that we saw on August 6th in Leagues Cup between these two sides, but an entertaining affair nonetheless. Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, Jordi Alba, and Sergio Busquets played together for about an hour or so before 3 of the 4 made their way off the field. Jesus Ferreira came off injured, hopefully nothing too serious for the U.S. international. But Devin Kerr, your thoughts on this historic night in the Cotton Bowl?
Both managers are going to be happy because we saw the continued development of what they've worked so hard on in the offseason. Again, we mentioned putting pen to paper. All those ideas finally moving onto the pitch here. An Inter Miami team that took a ton of chances tonight. They weren't able to complete them, but better ideas going forward. More stout defensively. That was tested early, though, because FC Dallas, little press up top.